Sneaking us back for another really quick one. Okay. I don't know if you're like me. I still like going hunting for CDs. If they're Panland or Panworld or Pandy Pandy or whatever. And I've actually got some really good buys recently. One of them was De La Soul, the original album, which you can't get new anymore because of the samples they use. But yeah, I got it for £1 and it's worth around about... It all depends where you go, between 30 and 80 quid. And it's near enough a brand spanker. You wouldn't be able to tell it was used because remember all the stuff they have come from Music Magpie or something. So they're all used, but you get a new case, I think it was the original sleeve in there as well. But anyway, what about when you want to rip stuff? Now there are quite a few programs out there, and I used to use Asunder an awful lot. And then what was happening is I couldn't find the index when using some of the CDs, especially the cheap ones you buy in HMV that I think they're like £4 or something, and you get 5 CDs of a compilation. So I've got one here, and it's called 80s Essentials, 100, £4. I ain't going to mail it there, am I, really? Because it's super duper. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this one up. It's called Freac or Freac. Okay, so I'll go to a recently used. We'll open it up for you. And this is what you get. And you get tips and everything. So I'll just move them around a bit for you. Hang on a minute. Just like my door with this. So when you open it up, it looks quite old school, doesn't it? And it is old school. But does it get the job done well? Yes, it does. Okay. So you get a lot of these tips. We'll go to the next tip. The multi-encoder hub. You can convert to multiple output formats at once. So you can create, in theory, every format you want to. And I'll show you that in a second. What other tips we've got here? You can use Core Audio ACC and ALAC. ALAC and ACC are basically another form of wave. Except ALAC has something a bit better so you can get all the metadata on it easier for you. Okay, that's why I'll go to the next one, then we'll go on to the video itself. You use 3DB database. You can change the database if you want. Now, what the trouble I was having was, whatever database I used in Asunder, and this one to start with, it still couldn't find the stuff. So what I'm going to do, I've got to disk load it up from the said CD. Okay, remember there's 5 in there. Okay. So I'll click here. No, I won't do that yet. I'll do this first. Let's go to selected encoder. So I'm going to go to FLAC. Okay, I'm going to use FLAC for this, but you can use Apple Lossless, the FLAC encoder, the AAC encoder, MP3 encoder, and the M, which is the multi-encoder, so you can actually convert into every format all at the same time. So you'll need a few cores for that, I imagine so. So I'm using the FLAC one anyway, yeah? So I'll click on FLAC again. That'll do. And I can go to options. Now I can go to configure the selected encoder. Okay. So at the moment it's using 5, which is the default. So if you click here, okay, 5 is the default, or 8 is the best compression. Well, I'm not too worried about that, so I'm going to use 4. Okay, and I only want FLAC. Okay, don't want nothing else. The format here, you don't really have to do anything there. It's all done for you. It's just a block size and expert. You can change things in there if you want to. There are some command line add-ons as well, by the way. I've got to tell you that. If you want to add more encoding stuff. Okay, well, look at this. I'll go to File, Add Remove from your job list, your database, so you can change databases or automatic CDDB queries. Your general settings. So if I go to general settings, you'll see what I mean. My phone's just gone off. And it's just telling me what I'm doing, where it's going, etc. Okay, so I'm just going to OK that. So the disk here is loaded, and I'm going to click on Add Audio CD Contents to Jobs List. So if I click there, and in theory, it should come up a little bit faster than it does. So it's scanning the CD now. There we go, and that's the one it's found. Okay, so what I did, I double checked, because this is one of the CDs that it couldn't find anything. So I left it over about 2 months, maybe longer, and now it's on the database, so that's fantastic. So these are all latest stuff, as you can see. So I'm going to OK that. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay. I mean, there's been encoders around for a long time and programs to use it, but I find this one really easy to use. Okay, and it does tend to find a database and your indexes that you need for the more obscure CDs. I mean, I've picked up some really obscure ones, especially in Poundland. Yeah, loads and loads. And if you go online, you can pick up job lots. Yeah, you may chuck a few away, but there can some be really stars in there. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to start the encoding, don't we? Let's start the encoding process. There we go. Just click on there, and it started to rip straight away. Nice and quick. You can probably in my CD drive down there, or the DVD drive, and it's clicking along. Really super duper. I'm loving it. Oh, yeah. This ain't going to take any time at all, is it? Look, blimey. So it's saying basically this whole CD is going to take around about 4 minutes. Now, do you remember many, many millions of years ago when we all had Windows? Okay, so I'm going back before the 2000s. Yeah, before the 2000s. They used to rip really, really quickly, but the output was a bit so-so, wasn't it? Now, when you're using FLAC, or if you're using MP3, which is 320k, it's going to take a little bit longer, especially if your machine can't deal with it or you've not got enough RAM. So this is another way of doing it. This is really, really flying along now, isn't it? But while it's doing that, I'll show you some other bits. It shows you the current file you're ripping, the active decoder, your file progress, as you can see. It's flying along. I don't even know what number we're on. Blah, blah, blah. It's flying along. And that's my output folder where I have all my music. And what I normally do every month is I back up all my music folder. The main one, because the kids moan otherwise, okay? So that's the one I back up every month. And obviously, if you go into these cheap stores and pick up quite a lot of CDs, you're going to use more and more and more. Now, it's got to the stage now, I'm going to put an extra drive in the machine just for music. I know. Nightmare, isn't it, really, when you think about it? And we're almost done. I'm sorry if you can hear my washing machine in the background, but yeah, that's it. So there. That's all it is. And as you can see, after each one is decoded or encoded, it comes off the list. So you might as well sit here for the next minute. I'll have a little bit of apple juice today. And it is apple juice, actually. I got it from Lidl. Yeah, that posh German supermarket. Super duper. And so it actually took 4 minutes to do the whole one in FLAC. Okay. But there are other programs out there if you want to use them. But I would suggest you give this one a try because it is really, really, really good. And fast. Whereas the Sunder sometimes is a bit slower. You can actually make it use all your cores if you wanted to, but I haven't bothered because it's quite fast enough for me. I'm not in any hurry and I've got other things to do anyway, to be honest with you. And we're all done. Wasn't that quick? Super of the duper. I know. There you go. Freac, or Freac, if you want to call it, your free audio converter. It's nice. I mean, I think originally it was a Windows program, but obviously it's been ported. So that's super. Sneaky Linux now. I'll see you later. Bye bye.